Mr. Daren Falter, a good friend of mine that I've known for decades. We've had some similar lives. And I'm going to throw out the crazy question. Daren, if you found out that you had 90 days to live, or you're just leaving, you're saying, hey, I'm going around the world. I'm going around the world multiple times in a cruise ship. I'm just checking out. And when I get back, I just, you kids are going to run everything. You've got to pass this down to the next generation. I'm looking for some very specific things, a checklist of things that you would tell your kids, that you would tell them, you would show them, and that you would help them implement so that they could do this without you. We never know when we're going to pass. My aunt, my dad only had one sister. She passed away a couple of days ago. She had a stroke, in the morning, and she was gone by that night. You never know when you're going to go. You never know how much time you got. And so we've got to get this information to the next generation, and we've got to get them doing it. They give them the experiences so that they can do it themselves. And so if that's the question for you, Daren, if you only had 90 days to live, and you've got to pass this down to the next generation, and either you're going to pass away or you're getting on a cruise ship for 2 or 3 years and you're not coming back, and they've got to run the show. What would you teach these kids very specifically?
Okay, here's the principles I've learned over my lifetime in business that I've applied. When I've applied these principles, I've always had tremendous success, and when I've ignored them, I've lived to regret it every time. The very first principle I teach my kids is to stop listening. Now, what do I mean by that? Stop listening. Stop listening to good advice? No, what I mean is stop listening to people who are not qualified to give you the advice that they're giving you. So many of us get caught in this trap of taking advice from people who aren't qualified to give it. We're taking financial advice from Uncle Bucky, who is on his third bankruptcy. We're taking marriage advice from Uncle Sam, who's on his third marriage. We're taking fitness advice from Uncle Frank, who's 400 pounds overweight and just eats all day. You have to take advice from people who are qualified to give it. Why do I take advice on real estate from Tom Painter? Because he has a track record. He can back it up. Never take advice from people. Stop listening to people who don't have the results you're looking for. Find people who have the results you're looking for, and you got to be all ears. Write notes. I hope you're taking notes today, because if you're not taking notes, you're not going to remember this. They say the faintest pen is better than the sharpest memory. Take notes from people who are qualified to speak to you about the things that they're speaking about. Number 2, stop trying. First, we got to stop listening. Now I got to stop trying. Stop trying to be successful in the things that you're endeavoring to be successful in. You need to make a commitment. Don't try. Remember Star Wars? Luke Skywalker's down in the swamp with Yoda. He's trying to raise the X-Wing fighter. He said, come on, give it all you got. And he's trying to raise him. He goes, I'm trying. You remember how whiny he is in those episodes? I'm trying. And what does Yoda say? Try not. Do or do not. There is no try. Do or do not. There is no try. You need to make a commitment. What does it mean to make a commitment to something? Making a commitment means, it doesn't mean giving it the old college try. Does it mean I'll try and see what happens? I'll give it 6 months. I'll give it a year. No, it means doing whatever it takes. Doing whatever it takes. If you're not willing to do whatever it takes, you might as well give up now, because you're not going to be successful in anything you do. A commitment means a commitment to your family, a commitment to your business, a commitment to, people who have certain types of jobs, like brain surgeons and commercial airline pilots. Those guys know how to make a commitment. And I hope the commitment is that they're going to always fly safe, and they're going to land that plane, and everybody's going to be okay in the end. When they open up that skull, They're going to make that operation. Everybody's going to have, he's going to have success with every single move of that scalpel. It's going to be 100% knowing exactly every technical move so he doesn't have any repercussions. I love it when there's professions that require 100% compliance, 100% focus, 100% excellence all the time, because that's a commitment. That's a true commitment. That's the kind of commitment you need to make your business. If you're not making that kind of commitment, you may never see success. Stop trying, do. Number 3, start eating at McDonald's. Actually, you don't need to eat there, but I need you to look at McDonald's as a model for the type of business that you're going to run. You see, McDonald's doesn't have the best hamburger in the world. McDonald's doesn't have the best shake in the world. The McDonald's doesn't have the best fries in the world. What it has is the best system, business system. It's a business system. It's a business where every single aspect of every single part of that business has been well thought out and changed. You know, they know you go into any McDonald's anywhere in the world, and you got your fries over here, and you got your shakes right here, and you got your window right here, and you got your serving place right here, and the fryers in the back. It's all been worked out, and everyone is the same. I've eaten at McDonald's in Japan, in Australia, in Rome. I don't know why. I mean, it's all this other food, but sometimes you are on the run and you know what you're going to get, and so you go in there and you know exactly what you're going to get in every country, because it's the same in every single country. That's a system, and that's what you need to have in your business. You need to implement a system that is so specific and so perfect that you could literally take a book of all your procedures and processes and have somebody read it and they know exactly how to run that business. Okay. So start eating at McDonald's and study everything. Work at McDonald's if you have a chance to work at McDonald's, so you can learn the business from the inside out and then apply that strategic franchise-based system to everything you do. Everything you do. It needs to be completely worked out. Okay. Stop setting goals. Stop setting goals. Now, this one changed my life. Of course, I want you to set goals, but better than that, stop setting goals. Set a visualization. When you want to attain a goal, when you want to achieve something successful in life, and when I wanted to teach my kids how to be successful in business, I taught them how to visualize what you want. Visualize yourself being successful as an entrepreneur. Visualize yourself earning that big check, having a check come in the mail that's so big, it's bigger, more income in a month than you've earned in a whole year. More income in a month than everybody you know earns in a year. Visualize yourself driving the car that you were meant to drive. Visualize yourself living in the home that you were meant to live in. Visualize yourself going on that dream vacation. Visualize yourself being married to that spouse who supports you, who sustains you, who believes in you. And visualize yourself being that mentor to your children and to generations to come of what it is to be a successful parent, husband, father, mother, and entrepreneur. Visualize it. Put it in your mind. And when you visualize anything that you want really bad, you need to visualize it in a way that you can taste it. You can taste it. You can see it. Every detail's worked out. Robert Allen used to tell a story about looking at your dream home. Go into your dream home, you open up the doors and you see everything. He says, every single detail that you have in that dream, everything that you can write out, spell out verbatim, will be in your future dream house. But if you don't put a detail in, somebody's going to decide that detail for you. So be very specific when you visualize your success. Be very, very specific. Get as detailed as you can. And don't be surprised when those visualizations that you bring up in your mind every day and you meditate on it every morning before you start your work. Don't be surprised when those visualizations come true, because that's how life works. You have to see it up here before you see it out here. T. Harv used to say, you know, we're really disappointed when we pick the fruit from our tree, because sometimes, you know, our tree is this tree of our lives, a tree of our business. And we go and we try to harvest the fruit, and there's no fruit, or maybe the fruit's there and it's all shriveled up, or it doesn't taste good, or it's not sweet, it's rotten. But you got to realize that the fruits are produced by the roots. All the things that you've put down and focused on planting, the seeds and the soil and the watering and the nurturing, the roots produce the fruits. So if you want better fruits, you want better results, you work on the roots. You work on the roots. Okay. Stop thinking. Stop thinking. Daren Hardy told a story about how he went skydiving, and he was terrified, absolutely terrified. He couldn't get his body to push himself out the door. He knew what to do. He knew that the chute would automatically deploy on its own. There's a backup chute. There's all these backup plans, remote controlled backup chutes and all this. But he was so scared, his body wouldn't allow him to move towards the door. He couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. So he decided he was going to just turn his brain off. Just turn his brain off, stop thinking about it, and just do it. And so he said, 1, 2, 3, go. And he did it. Sometimes we need to turn the brain off. Sometimes we turn the brain off and just take courage. There was a movie, We Bought a Zoo, with Matt Damon. And his young son's having girl trouble. And it's because he's scared. He's scared to talk to her. He's scared to talk to this girl, but he really likes her and he really wants a relationship with her, but he's scared to talk. And his dad sits him down and he says, son, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of courage, just 20 seconds of insane courage, and something good will happen. I want you guys to go to YouTube later and I want you to look up We Bought a Zoo, 20 seconds of courage talk. Watch that whole sequence. It'll blow you away. It'll make you cry is what it'll do. And it's just amazing. But 20 seconds, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of courage. It'll change your life. Just 20 seconds. Turn off the brain and turn on the courage. 1, 2, 3, execute. Don't think about it, just do it. Okay, getting down the last ones here. Just a few more. Start procrastinating. Start procrastinating. This one is the formula for anybody who's become wealthy in their lives. You make a list at the end of every day of the priorities, the most important jobs that you need to get done to produce the largest amount of income over the next days, weeks, and months. We call them income producing activities, IPAs, income producing activities. You write a list and you do it in the order of the most important thing first, the thing that needs to get done, no matter how hard it is. You put the most important IPA at the top, second most, third most, fourth most, fifth most, sixth most. And when you wake up in the morning, you attack that list one at a time until night, until you don't have any time, until you're called for dinner and then your day's over. Whatever you don't get to at the end of that day, you procrastinate, you push it off because you're making another list before you go to bed that next night of the same things, the most important things to get done. And guess what? There's always going to be things you don't get to on the list every day. Procrastinate them, push them off. Don't worry about them. They're not important. The most important things are your income producing activities, your most high priority ones first. And if you get to all those every day, you're going to have incredible results as an entrepreneur, as a wealth builder, as a leader. Okay. Stop being independent. Now, we all value, especially American culture, is we all value independence and entrepreneurship and being your own person. But sometimes we need interdependence. We need partnerships. We need joint ventures. We need people that we can link arms with, people that can mentor us, people that can support us. We need people. And sometimes your competition is your best ally. My daughter Kylie, one of the things she's so remarkable about is she goes out into the community of all her fellow photographers, and she finds people who are competitors with her, and she locks arms with them and does events together, and they do promotions. A rising tide raises all ships. If you link arms with the other people in your industry that are also as good as you, if not better, and you become kind of a conglomerate of these individuals that are really good at a particular skill or a profession, all of those individuals help raise the entire market. You have much more. Don't be a big fish in a small pond. Be a united, linked, interdependent fish in the ocean. And it's a blue ocean strategy. There's no way that you can harvest all the fish that are out there. There's just too much for everybody. There's so much to go around. Don't be small-sided. Partner up. Find people find people who are your weakness. If you have a weakness in this area, you bring a strength. They have a weakness in another area. You bring it together, and you have success. I started a business where, you have the personality quadrants. Person's red, green, blue. The different color personalities. I started a business with 3 partners, so 4 of us, and we are all in a different quadrant. That's how you want to do it. You want to have strengths in every quadrant when you go into business with the people you're working with. So make sure you're working on partnerships. Just a couple more now, we're done. Stop making it all about you. Stop making it all about you. It's all about them. It's all about someone else. When people start a business, a lot of times they're marketing a product that they love. Like, oh, I like guitars, I'm going to start a guitar business. I like mountaineering, I'm going to start a mountaineering business. I'm going to sell ice axes. That's about me. Find out what other people want. Find out what the marketplace wants. Find out what's popular now. Don't worry about yourself. Worry about them. Put all your focus into your customer. Love your customer, not a product, not a service. Don't fall in love with your brand. Don't fall in love with your logo. Fall in love with people. Fall in love with people and their needs and their wants and their desires and what they need to have fulfilled. And you will always be profitable. Market the product that is needed in the marketplace. Be a marketer, not a salesperson. Don't try to sell me an ice axe. Don't try to sell me a guitar. Don't go down to the used car lot and get sold a car. Find out what people want and provide it for them, and they'll come beat a path to your door. Okay. Stop working hard. Now, everybody needs to work hard, but what we need to do is work smarter. We need to be smart about the way we work. Put systems in place. Put anything that you can automate. If it takes you 2 times the amount of time to automate something once, but it's automated for the rest of your life, always spend the 2 times as much time to do that, to make it automated. Work smarter. Always implement systems and strategies. Work with people who know what they're doing. Always hire people that have the expertise that you need. Work smart. Don't work hard, work smart. Start failing. We talked about this already. I'm not going to go into it, but failing is the key to success. Fail big, fail often, fail fantastically. Always push yourself. Don't be ready before you go into business. Nobody's ever going to be ready. Just start, because then you're going to fail faster because you don't know what you're doing. And failure brings fast change, fast learning, fast wisdom. Don't be afraid to fail. Fail big. Just get up and do it again. Don't let anybody keep you down. Nobody's going to keep a good man or good woman down. Okay, last 2. Start hurting. Anybody who's had any success in business or in life has passed through adversity. You don't go around it. You don't circumvent it. You don't go under it or through it, around it. You go through it. You go through the adversity to become what God intended you to be. Several years ago, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and it was actually kind of a relief because I didn't know what was going on. I have these shakes and these, I have these tremors, and I had all these pains and aches and losing energy. I had all these problems. And I didn't know what it was. I finally was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and I knew how to deal with it. But it's a hard disease. There's a lot of struggles that I go through because of it. But if God came down to me today and said, Daren, I'm going to take away your Parkinson's, but I'm also going to take away all the gifts that I've given you as a result, I'd really have to question that, because there's a couple of things that I got along with this disease that I think are my superpowers. Number one, I have more empathy and more ability to connect with people than ever before. I can connect in a heartbeat with people who are struggling and going through adversity. I can connect with people who are going through pain, and everybody is. And so I'm able to reach out to people and have that emotional connection quickly. And the second thing is put me on a track to get more done in my life. I don't know if I'll be able to do some of the things I wanted to do in my later life because of the symptoms associated with later life Parkinson's. When I'm 70 and 80, I might not have the abilities that I have to go climb a mountain or to ride bikes or to do the things I'm doing or to build businesses. And so I'm taking all of that time, the next 20 years, 30 years, and I'm condensing it into 5. I'm speeding up the time cycle because I've got to get this stuff done. Stuff's got to get done because I got to prepare for my kids. I got to write books and memoirs and information that I want them to have. I want them to remember their grandpa. And so I've got all this stuff to get done that I'm condensing from this amount of time into this amount of time because time is urgent. I see all these other people relaxing in their 50s and chilling, doing whatever, but I don't have that luxury. So I am on a mission. I'm on a mission. And finally, so that's talking about being urgent, pushing through the adversity to become what God needs you to be, and being urgent about it. And finally, stop being happy. I don't know. I mean, this is going to be a book one day. It's like the negativity book. Stop being happy. What I mean by that is everybody is entitled to the pursuit of happiness. But I listened to this podcast with my wife, and there's this woman in there who was going through a tremendous amount of adversity in her life. At an early age, she had started numbing herself out with alcohol, and she became an alcoholic. And so she started going to AA meetings because she was done with being drunk all the time and having her life ruined because of alcoholism. And she's having a particularly hard week. And she was really struggling. And this woman's like in her 80s, came and sat down and put her hand on her knee. And she says, I think she was in her 80s. She probably was like in her late 20s, because in AA, we live hard. but anyway, this 80-year-old lady comes down. She sets her hand on her knee. She says, honey, I see you're struggling. Let me tell you something that I learned in my early years of sobriety. The reason that you're having such a hard time right now, it's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because you're finally doing it right. You're finally living life the way it was intended to live. You're all in. You're feeling all your feelings. You're living life the way it was intended. You're not avoiding anymore. And it's hard. And that's why so many people don't do it. They don't invest in their true feelings. They're not vulnerable. There's no vulnerability. They try to be happy all the time. And she says, one of the greatest revelations in life is that we're not designed to be happy all the time as human beings. We're not supposed to feel happy all the time. We're supposed to feel all of our feelings. All of our feelings, the whole spectrum. And that is a freaking revelation. I just want you to remember that as we wrap up here today. Those are my lifelong words of wisdom that I teach to anybody who will ask, especially my kids. There's so much to learn. There's so much to learn from each and every one of you. Everybody has life experience. There's things you've learned. Write it down. Teach it, share it, pass it on to the next generation, because you never know when your words and the wisdom that you share will ultimately result in passing along to the next generation a whole new posterity, a whole new outbranching of entrepreneurship. I truly feel that my kids are not just going to build businesses and bless the lives of others for the rest of their lives. They're going to have their children join them and become entrepreneurs as well. It's a legacy passing along. So I thank my dad, the OG of the Falter Inc., for inspiring me to start a business. And I hope that something that I've said has helped you, not only inspire you to start your business, but to help you teach your children what they need to know to start their businesses. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Daren. Like I said, we've lived parallel lives. We have parallel parents. We've learned so much from them. And the reason I wanted Daren on here, because this is part of his legacy too. The whole foundation was designed to find people that want to help other people. And that's what Daren's doing. He's helped so many people. His books, his inspirational messages, all the things that he's done throughout his life has made a huge difference on a lot of people, and especially mine. I wouldn't have been the first or real time I figured out the internet was talking to Daren, and he introduced me to it and how it all worked. And look, Daren, I've actually figured it out. It took me 20 years, but I finally figured it out. So,
yeah, Tom thought he was doing a blog for about 15 years, but he was actually just doing a Google spreadsheet. It's only 3 people saw it. No, I'm just kidding.
I sure did a lot of spreadsheets. Anyway, I want to thank everybody from around the world. Phil, I'm so grateful for all of you for being here. Just remember to make a difference. Make it happen. That's the big thing. Pull the trigger. Do something. Fail, 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 fail. Success. Fail, 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 fail. Success. You've got to fail forward. It's okay to fail. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. You need to fail more. And then, of course, remember that every life is precious. Thanks for watching. And the rest of you just stay on for just a second, because we're going to do some quick Q&A. Thanks, everybody.